Hey, everybody. It is yours truly, Dr. Shamika Dean, your favorite marketing solutionist. Y'all come on in. Y'all already know when I come on this live, I have something to say that's going to transform your whole life in your business. Okay. So as you're tuning in, make sure that you comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. And then also make sure you share. All right. Because if you're on this live and you need it, someone who's connected to you needs it too. So again, make sure you comment and invite others to join us and tune in on this conversation. Uh, if you're new to me, I am a marketing solutionist. So I provide marketing solutions to people's profit problems by helping them to expand their expertise through signature program creation. And then I teach them a marketing and automation plan that positions them to where they automate up to 90% of their sales so that they only have to work 10% of the time. Why? Because I just don't believe in hustling. I believe that we can use wisdom and systems and software and strategy and structure our business in a way that we don't have to sacrifice ourselves or the people that we love to do what we love. All right. So again, I help service-based entrepreneurs. That is my audience. That's my area of focus. And so if you desire to create a signature program, you want to expand your expertise, take your time back, be able to spend more time with little SpongeBob and little Lulu, and have a little bit more bedroom boom with your husband. I mean, hey, signature program creation is for you. So again, comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. And real quick, I just have a couple of announcements before we get into our content today. The Market Like a Mogul book launch. Y'all know you girl's the number one best-selling author. Woo woo. So you have, see, today is the 15th. So you have 5 days to secure your spot for that. We're going to be right here in Clarksville, Tennessee, with special guest DJ. Prior, you may have seen him and his son go viral in a video where they were having a conversation on the couch. So he's going to be bringing us some funny and entertainment. Also, special guests, some giveaways, and all of those other things. Last but not least, say the date for Market Like a Mogul, the takeover in Atlanta, Georgia, June 16th through 18th, 2022. So save the date for that. All right. So again, comment and let me know where you are tuning in from so that I will know what part of the world you decided to join in. Hey, Ada. So I know what part of the world you decided to join in from. Hey, Lauren. Miss Edie, how are you? All right. So what I'm going to be talking about today is affirmations. How many of y'all have heard affirmations? You've seen people talk about affirmations, and you've probably been wondering yourself, uh, does it even work? Right? The affirmations work. What are they? Should I, use them? Will they work for me? All of those good things, right? And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I was sharing earlier today on my post, how my son posted his list of affirmations, which was really, really, um, heartwarming for myself because, sometimes you do things and you're not sure if it's impacting your children or impacting the lives of others. And, one thing for sure is that it's one thing to impact the world, but it's another kind of impact for you when you can impact those in the four walls of your own home, right? So that's the biggest and the greatest impact. The impact that matters the most is what I do for those I love, the legacy that I'm called to leave. And so I'm going to be talking about, again, affirmations, like what exactly is an affirmation. All right. And so, why people use affirmations, basically it's a way to affirm, right, who you are, to kind of solidify who you are, what you believe, and things like that. And it's a way to kind of keep your mindset on the right track, right? And so we talk about affirmations, um, that's really kind of what it's talking about. The whole goal of it is to kind of prevent or take power or control over self-sabotaging negative thoughts and things like that, right? To take control of your mind, make sure you're thinking like you're supposed to be thinking, because we know that um the mind goes, the man follows, right? So whatever you start to believe about yourself becomes a reality for you. Even if it's not the truth, it becomes your truth because that's what you believe about you. And so that's what people, use affirmations for. So when I think affirmations, now I don't think affirmations as a point from a perspective of manifestation, because I don't believe that I can manifest anything in my own life by saying whatever. I believe that I can affirm what God already says about me, what his word says about me, what his word says that I can do, what his word has promised me. And so affirmations normally start with I am, right? So when I think of I am, I think of the great I am, right? And who he is and who he already is to me and who he already says that I am. So when we think or talk about affirmations, it's really about just affirming what God has already promised, what he's already said, right? I'm not creating anything. I'm not trying to manifest anything. I'm literally speaking what God has already promised over my life. And I'm just calling his word back to him because he says to remind him of his word. He says that he watches over his word to perform it. So again, when I am affirming anything, it is nothing biblical. It is nothing outside of what the word of God already has promised, what he has said, what's in his word, because his word, he's going to watch over it to perform. So when we start thinking about affirmations, we just have to make sure that those who are believers, that we are understanding that I am who he says I am, right? I am affirming what he already has um, promised me, right? And so that's what I kind of wanted to talk about because someone was asked, we were talking about it. I was having a little conversation in my post, and I said, when I do my live today, I will talk about, the affirmations, right? So any affirmations that or anything that you're saying that contradicts the word of God or that puts you in a position where you are becoming your own God, then that's a problem because it's out of alignment, right? Because now you're trying to manipulate um the order of God, manipulate things to just kind of get what you want, like selfish desires of just simply what you want that don't align with what God already says you can have and what he's promised you, right? And so again, that's what I wanted to kind of bring clarity to and talk about today because so many times it can be misconstrued and it can be looked at something from a negative, in a negative way. But all right, what about now? Am I good? Okay, what about now? It had connected to my AirPod. All right, good. Okay, right. So again, when we think about, affirmations and things like that, it's no different than saying I am healed, right? I am whole. I am of sound mind, and body. I am courageous. Like he told, say, be strong and of good courage, right? I am courageous. Like anything that, again, when it aligns with the word of God, and you're really literally just affirming and reminding yourself and reminding God of his word. Like that's what I want to be clear here. Okay. And so I wanted to talk about also about some of the things that I do on a daily basis, like some mindset work that I do when I get ready to start my day. So I want to share some of those things. So, when I first get up in the morning, one of the first things that before my feet hit the floor, I begin to give gratitude for just God waking me up in the morning. I give gratitude for being able to roll over and my husband's there still alive, healthy and well, being able to walk, being able to talk, being able to go into the other room and see that my child is there, being able to look at my phone and I didn't get any phone calls about any bad news or any of those things. So a part of affirming is also just being in that place of gratitude, being mindful of what God has already done for you, right? Because that keeps you out of a place of complaining, because complaining can really put you in a place of complacency. Complaining can put you in a position where um you know you're wanting more, right? um than what you have. However, you can't get it because you're not grateful, for what you have. So I wanted to talk about just kind of some of those things that I do, and even some of the affirmations, that I have for myself, right? I know that God is creative, like he's the creator of the universe, the earth, right? I'm an imitator of Christ, right? And I know that because I am, an imitator of him, I am because of him, right? There are things that he's done, that he's blessed me to do, that he's gifted me to do, right? The skills, the gifts, the talents, the things that we have, right? So, I remind myself that I am creative. I remind myself that I am innovative. I remind myself that I am protected. I remind myself that I am healthy, that I am healed, that I am whole. I remind myself that I am wealthy, as his word says. And we know that wealth is not just, we know that wealth literally is not just money. And that's something that has also been taught, that focusing on, the money, that's like the lowest, the bottom of the bottom of what wealth really looks like, because wealth is wholeness, right? It's about being healthy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, like all of those things, like encompass or include or an inclusion part of what wealth really looks like. Um, I'm unstoppable, right? And I am unstoppable because his word says, right, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? Anything that rises up against me, it shall be condemned, right? So all of the things that, again, affirmations that align with what his word says, and affirmations that align with what he has promised to you, right? So if he's shown you that you're going to go to the nations, then to say I am international would be in alignment with what he has already said to you, right? If he's shown you visions of your future and where you're going to be in a position of influence and power, to say I am influence is in alignment, right, with what he's promised you and with what his word has said. So those are just some of the affirmations. And another reason we want to affirm, because it keeps us in alignment also with our identity, right? So when you are reminding yourself of what he said, you also remind yourself of who you are and whose you are. So there are certain things when you are continuously affirming what he said and who he said you are, that you just know that you can't be out here doing, right? There are things that you have to do differently because of the plan and the purpose that God has for your life. So you're going to move differently because of those things, right? And so if I know that I am influenced because he has created me to influence people with the gifts that he's put on my life. And at the end of the day, all of those gifts are going to bring people right back to who God is. Because when someone comes to ask me, how are you able to do what you do? And how are you able to do things in such a short amount of time? I can't say, oh, well, I'm just so amazing at what I do. God. God. So again, when we do begin to affirm, it keeps us in alignment, and that alignment reminds us again of who we are, whose we are. And if I am, his child and I'm representing him, then I got to make sure that I'm representing him, right? And so again, those are just some of the things that I wanted to share because it was a topic of conversation that I had posted about earlier today. And I said, you know what, when I go live, I'm going to have this conversation, like this is what I'm going to talk about. And so we are here. All right. So I'm trying to think of some other affirmations that I have that I can think of. I am protected. I am loved. I'm lovable. I am loving. Um, I am experience. Um, I'm evolution. Let's see. I'm prosperous. I'm courageous. I am bold. Like all of those things are things that, I say. So another thing that I do is all of the affirmations that I do have that I've written that he's given me, I have recorded them in a voice note. Okay. So there are some days where you're just not going to feel like affirming. You're not, you don't always feel like it, but you don't have to give in to your flesh. You can fight through the flesh, fight through your feelings, right? And all of those things. But what I do is, as you can see here, it says daily declarations, affirmations, whatever you want to call them. I just declare what God has already decreed. And I do that by turning them into, affirmations. But what I did was I recorded them in my voice notes. I recorded in my voice note. And so I will play this sometimes when I'm riding my car, especially when I'm having moments where I need to remind myself and I need to encourage myself. Because he says sometimes you have to encourage yourself. So I did a voice recording in my phone. I have actually another one here, as you can see, and I play it. I'll play it as I'm riding in my car. I'll play it sometimes when I first wake up. I play it also sometimes when I am getting ready to go to bed at night, all of those things. And the other little hack that I have is, I don't know, let me see, let's try to clean my phone. I don't know if you all can see this, but actually I have folders on my phone. So all of my folders actually have the declarations on them. So I am this, I am, I'm that, I'm this, like they're on my notes. So even when I'm looking at my phone, I'm always thinking about, okay, did I say these today? Did I affirm today? Did I do those things? And if not, then this is a reminder, right? Of that I need to go ahead and do it. So I put that on my phone. Um, Another thing that keeps me on track with saying them is because before I get, like when I get ready to go to bed at night, these are some other mindset hacks I've shared with y'all. So before I go to bed at night, I delete all social media apps off of my phone. The reason I do this is because I want to, first of all, make sure my mind is clear of clutter before I go to bed. So I delete this so I'm not up scrolling, scrolling on social media all night. Some people have that kind of discipline and self control, some don't. So you do what works for you. Amen. And I don't re-download them onto my phone until after I have done my morning routine. So my morning routine consists of, again, before I get out of the bed, I lay there and I just begin to say thank you, thank you, thank you for all the things that come to mind. Like I go down the list of thank yous for my attitude of gratitude, and then I pray. Right. So sometimes I just roll out of bed, grab my little blanket, throw it over me, and I pray. um, and so after I've done that, that's when I go and I do my journaling and my coffee. After I've done my journal and my journaling is really, it's still gratitude and some prayer requests and petitions, but also I have a section of answer prayers. So when I pray for something, when God answers it, I also have a section in my notebook for answer prayers. So I'll do one of the three things in my journal. Once I'm done with that, um, I'm going to probably listen to an audiobook or Audible or something on mindset in the mornings, because you already have to go out and face the world and do your daily activities every day. Anything is liable to, pop up and to happen. So doing the mindset work, doing your prayer and all of those things ahead of time gives you the power over your day instead of allowing your day to have power over you. Now, it doesn't mean that things won't happen, but when you've taken the time to get into the presence of God, you've taken the time to pray, you've heard what God has said, you've done the mindset work, you're now in a position to have a more productive, powerful, peaceful, and prosperous day because you are being proactive in how you are setting the tone for your day because you're not allowing your day to dictate how it's going to be. You're setting the tone. You're starting your day the way that you want it to. Now, do I don't do yeah. So every day still isn't perfect. Some days I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the office. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing that. But then that's when gratitude comes in. That's when prayer comes into play. And I have to remind myself, I don't have to go into the office. I get a chance to go into the office. I don't have to service my clients. I get a chance to change people's lives doing something that I absolutely love to do. And I get paid, very well doing it. I don't have to get up and do this. I am grateful because I've been able to create the type of business that I love, doing what I love, and it's structured. I build my business around my life so that I don't have to build my life around my business. So when I start to complain, the first thing I say, well, hey, you structured this business this way. This is the way you said you wanted to run your business. It's set up. So what do you really have to complain for? Right. And so that is just a part of some of the daily, routines and stuff that I do. The other thing is when it comes to like me going to bed, like before I go to bed at night, I try to watch something funny. That's kind of something my husband and I do. We don't watch anything heavy before we go to bed at night. We try to clear our minds of like heavy stuff. And so in doing that, we normally watch something funny, something comedic, so that we can shift, the day. Like, because sometimes your day is heavy, it's hectic, and it's kind of to wind down and cool down and get our minds, at ease. We'll watch something funny at night before we go to bed. Right. So those are just a few of the things. Some other mindset, hacks. One of the things that I do is every month I make sure that I invest in some kind of mindset, something, whether it's a book, whether it's a training, um, whatever the case may be, whether it's therapy. Well, therapy, I go do that just as maintenance, just like we go to the doctor's office, for any other thing, routine checkups, things like that. Like we make sure we check in and stay on target for our health to keep our physical health in place. It's the same thing, with counseling or therapy. Some people are anointed to see things and help you process through things that you didn't even realize you were stuck in. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to again just share this with you all, talk about affirmations and things like that. Do they work? Yes, I truly believe they do because of course we know that out of there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And so he tells us to think on certain things, things that are peaceful, that are loving, and all of those things. And what we think, we begin to say, and what we say, we see. So all of those things are a part of the journey, a part of the journey of shifting your mindset and staying in alignment. Of course, as I said, first of all, staying in alignment with what God says. All right. And reminding yourself of his word. Like affirmations are a way of reminding yourself of his word. So whenever I say I am something, I always think of the great I am. Like it automatically triggers me to think of God's ability to do in my life what I am reminding him of what his word has already said he's done, you know. And also reminding myself the great I am of who he already says that I am, right? And so again, I just wanted to share these with you. Real quick, if you have some affirmations that you say over your life that you say daily, Just comment a few of them in the comment section because maybe someone else can benefit from some of the affirmations that you use that they may not, realize that, they need to use for themselves. So just comment in the comment section. Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Thank you. She said, "This is so good." How do y'all feel now that I've taken you through this quick little teaching? How do you feel? Let me know. What's your thoughts, your feedback? And I think like a lot of times we think, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. But I'm like, it's no, when you think of the Bible, there are affirmations in the Bible. He says, by his stripes, I am healed. Right? Like, you get what I'm saying? So there are certain things in there. But if you just know the word and align it with what it says, then you'll see it in your life. You'll see what he said. And that's another thing that I ask God to do. I ask him to give me the words to say. I ask him to put his words in my mouth, just like he did Jeremiah, like the vision that Jeremiah had. He said, what he told him, he put his words, he touched his mouth and put his words in his mouth. And then Jeremiah said what God gave him to say, right? And because he said what God said, he saw what God said. Okay. And it was literally that because he said what God put in his mouth to say, he saw what God said. And so that's how powerful the word of God is. When you say what God has said, you'll see what he said. Yeah, you just declaring what he's already decreed. You're repeating what he has already revealed. Yeah, absolutely. She says, like you said earlier, it's a great way to start your day instead of letting the world control it. Yes, absolutely. She says, these are some great ideas and techniques to wake me up in the morning to get my body and mind moving and going. Great, great, great. All right, that's it, y'all. I told my son I was going to run him to the mall. So hopefully the mall isn't about to close. Um, but I told him I was going to run him to the mall today. I didn't realize I had a long day. But I'm going to run him to the mall so he can grab him some shoes and stuff because tomorrow's going to be busy. And then it's going to be busy again because I have some things to do on Friday. And then I have an event on Saturday and some other things that I have to prepare for Monday. So, all right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I love y'all immensely and intensely. And I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Bye bye.